What's worse for your health than smoking 15 cigarettes a day? It's not stress, and it's not junk food. It's loneliness. You can be surrounded by people, and it still creeps in. It creeps in, stealing your joy and your health and your happiness. But here's the thing. Loneliness isn't just about being alone. It's about how connected or disconnected you feel to the people around you and the relationships that you do have. Today, we're going to dive into this silent happiness killer, and we're going to take a look at the control that we have over it and what you can do to improve your happiness and your life satisfaction by fighting loneliness. In the last video, we talked about what 80 years of research has showed us. The Harvard Study of Adult Development, also known as the Harvard Happiness Study, it showed us that good relationships are the key and the foundation of a happy, healthy life. And that good relationships can help you live longer and better. But we also introduced something that gets in the way of happiness, and that's a negativity bias, which is your tendency to focus on the negative things, and your tendency, which is programmed in your brain, to focus on negativity. And that's because of a survival instinct. Way back when, we had to see the dangers and the negative in order to ensure our survival as a species. However, it's still in our brains to focus on the negative. It's what makes us hold grudges. It's what makes us dwell in conflicts. And it's what makes it harder for us to find happiness. And that happiness requires effort. I bet you didn't know that it was a thing. Overcoming negativity bias is key to building healthy relationships. And today we're talking about one of its biggest consequences, and that's loneliness. Because the truth is, loneliness feeds on negativity, and breaking that cycle is essential for happiness. Loneliness isn't just about being alone and feeling isolated and disconnected and like nobody really sees you. The Harvard study found that people who reported feeling lonely were not only less happy, but they also faced serious health risks, higher blood pressure, weaker immune systems, and even a shorter lifespan. And here's where negativity bias makes things even worse. When we're lonely, we start to believe things like, nobody cares, I'm not worth so-and-so's time. And those things start to create walls that prevent us from reaching out and establishing relationships, because you start feeling so negative about yourself and what you are worth, your worthiness, that you stop reaching out. And it becomes a vicious cycle of making things worse. And the loneliness just grows. That feeling of invisibility is very common. But here's the good thing. Loneliness is a signal. It's not a sentence. It's temporary. It doesn't have to be permanent. The first step in breaking the cycle is recognizing when negative thoughts creep in. For example, if you're starting to feel like those negative feelings creeping in and you just want to crawl in bed and isolate yourself, find a way, just a small way, to reach out to somebody. Make a connection. Send a text, go for a walk and make eye contact with someone and smile and say hello. Just find a way to make a connection today. Loneliness actually shrinks when we take small, intentional steps to fight it. And when we do, we don't just make ourselves feel better, but we make the person that we're making the connection with feel better too. Here's a short conversation I had with Mom about some times in her life when she was feeling lonely. Do you have any advice for anyone that feels, for somebody that might be feeling lonely?
Get something that you enjoy doing and concentrate on that versus your loneliness.
That's great advice. That's great advice. We can fight loneliness and build stronger connections. And here are 3 ways in which we can do it. 3 small steps that can help. Reach out to just one person. It's a small step. It can be a friend, a neighbor, somebody you don't even know. Just make a connection. Number 2, be present. If you're around family members during the holidays or at any time, when you're with someone, put down your phone. Be present in the situation. Give them your undivided attention. Make eye contact. Acknowledge what they're saying. Validate their existence. And number 3 is practice gratitude. That's a big one nowadays. Practice gratitude. I remember one Thanksgiving, we put everybody's name in a hat, and at the dinner table, after we said our blessing, each person pulled someone's name out of the hat, and you had to say one thing about that person that you were grateful for. And it was all family members around the table. It didn't matter whose name you drew, you had to tell one positive thing that you were grateful for about that person. And it was nice. It was a nice experience. It brought laughter, it brought tears. It was just a very memorable experience. Unfortunately, it was before iPhones and the commonality of recording everything, but it would have been nice to have had a recording of that particular Thanksgiving dinner because there was a lot of connection going on between family members. So just remember, the happiness grows when we nurture connections, and every small effort that you make adds up. It's true, loneliness is powerful, but so is connection. And the Harvard study reminds us that the quality of our relationships and our connections helps to shape our lives and our health. And while negativity bias can make us want to pull back and give you a natural tendency to pull back and not make those connections, making the effort, even small efforts, to solidify connections and create connections helps beyond measure. Happiness actually starts with showing up. Show up for those little connections. I have faith in you. You can do it. If this resonated with you, make a connection with somebody and share it with them. And don't forget to subscribe, because in the next video, we're going to talk about emotional resilience and how to bounce back from life's challenges. Reach out to someone today. See you in the next video.